All right. So I need everyone to close their eyes. So I want you to imagine you're standing in a wide open plain. All around you, as far as you could see, there's only yellow grass. Now on this plain are moving herds of many wonderful types of large animals. For instance, you look off to your left and you see a herd of zebras. To your right, you see a group of large elephants lumbering off to the distance. And now in front of you is a herd of antelope. Something's wrong. They stop, tense up. Their heads snap up and they stare right at you. And all of a sudden, a large predator rushes from behind you towards the group. As it rushes by, you only have time to catch its yellow fur and black spots. You see it's a cheetah. One of the antelope doesn't get away. Open your eyes. Now, if I were to ask you to point at this map where you would go to see this scene, you would probably go right here, somewhere in Africa, maybe the plains of the Serengeti, Kruger National Park. But what if I told you you had another option? At one point in time, you could come to North America, not too far from here, and see exactly this. For instance, a long time ago, we used to have elephants, woolly mammoths. We had wild horses. We had giant condors, giant tortoises, camels. We had cheetahs, and we even had our own lions. Now, what happened to these? Well, they're not here anymore. So before I go on, I want to make a quick definition. So we have these two ideas in biology. We have extinct versus extant. And all of us know extinct, I think. And this book I found up on our bookshelf sums it up. For those of you who can't see, there's a picture of a dinosaur, and it says, "All my friends are dead." So Mr. T-Rex here, he is extinct. All his friends are dead, and we'll never see them again. Now, Mr. Lion over here, even though you can't find them in North America, they're still around. They're extant. Now, so what I'm saying is we had at one point lions, wild horses, elephants, camels, giant tortoises, condors, and cheetahs. So what if we brought them all back? In a sense, this is what conservationists do today. A conservationist will look at a period of time in the past and set a benchmark and say that period of time is what we want to return our current environment to. So for instance, in the modern epoch, the conservation movement started when scientists looked back and said, the world today is much different than the world my grandfather saw in the late 1800s. He could wander through the woods and see herds of deer and turkey. Let's bring those back. Today, our perception has changed a little bit. We have this pre-1942 or pre-European involvement in North America view of conservation. We kind of have this idea that in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue and killed everything, in a sense. But what I'm saying is let's set the benchmark even farther back to the end of the Pleistocene. Now, the Pleistocene is a period of time that ended about 10,000 years ago that was characterized by the presence of all the large mammals that I just mentioned. Now, this idea actually isn't so strange, and it's not just from my own thinking. In 2006, a group of scientists published a paper called Pleistocene Rewilding in the journal Nature. For those of you who maybe haven't heard of Nature, if you get published in it, you're doing something right. So this is what they were promoting. Over the period of time, over the next 50 years, what if we slowly introduce closely related species to what used to exist? For instance, Africa still has lions. Let's bring African lions and bring them here. But let's do it in a careful scientific manner. Now, in their paper, they outline a couple of positives to this. For instance, increased ecosystem function. They argue that ecosystems are things that evolve over long periods of time and are defined by the interactions of very large species many times. So for instance, elephants eat a lot of stuff. That's going to have an impact on how the environment evolves. And they say that, in a sense, the ecosystem that evolved 10,000 years ago with elephants, they still remember the elephants. So if you bring them back, we can make it more healthy and better. In addition, they say that we can create new populations of large mammals. Many large mammals are going to go extinct if we don't do something. So maybe we can make their chances of survival into the future a little better. They also cite economic benefits from tourism. Now, not everybody's so happy about this idea. For instance, they'll cite things like competition with humans. Well, think about it. If you're a cattle rancher and there's a herd of lions nearby, you're not going to be too happy. Or if a farmer with a field of corn wakes up in the morning and there's a bunch of elephants in the cornfield, not so happy. It's also a potentially very costly idea. The other thing that they'll mention is, well, maybe in a sense the environment has forgotten these large animals, and bringing them back would just cause more harm than good. So scientists are deadlocked in this cost-benefit analysis argument over the issue. Are the potential benefits worth the risks? But I think we need to ask another question to decide this issue. What do we want? We talk so much about saving the environment, bringing back nature. Well, what kind of nature do we want to bring back? The nature of the future is one that is missing something. These are all headlines from news sources that appeared in 2012, and they paint a picture of a future where these large animals that inspire us, that drive our creativity, that we go to zoos to see, flip to the Discovery Channel to see, and name our sports teams after, might not exist. It's a future where many of these animals are not extant, they're extinct. So my question is that what we want? Is that the future we want? Pleistocene rewilding lets us envision another future, one in which we take the things that are disappearing, the fantastic, what makes us imagine, we bring those back into our lives, into our society, and say, as humans, these are things that we value, and we can benefit from them. Thank you very much.